mistress. So Caleb's men took her, strapped her down, cut away her face while she screamed into the darkness. Her new owner paraded around in Naomi's stolen beauty. Meanwhile, Naomi, faceless, voiceless, forgotten, was dumped into a mass grave of previous victims. But this time, something went wrong. Naomi woke up, and she wasn't done fighting. Caleb's best client, Senator Howard Crane, couldn't stop admiring his new woman. Naomi's face fit perfectly on his young mistress, but 3 nights later, she started screaming. "I hear her! I hear her in my head!" she shrieked. Her fingers scratched at her own face like it was burning. Caleb tried to assure them psychological side effects were common, but Crane wasn't convinced. Days later, Caleb received a call. Crane and his mistress were found dead, their faces ripped off. Panic spread among Caleb's elite buyers. Some returned their new faces, terrified. Others demanded protection. And in the darkness, Naomi watched. She had clawed her way out of the grave, her skinless body stitched together with rage, and she was coming for them all. Dr. Caleb Reed sat in his sterile office, reviewing the autopsy photos of Senator Crane and his mistress. Their faces, gone, not sliced off like his surgical work, ripped, torn, devoured. "This isn't possible," he muttered. Once a face was removed, it was just flesh, dead tissue, nothing more. But deep down, an old fear crept in. Had he gone too far? Had something unnatural taken hold of his stolen work? His thoughts were interrupted by his assistant, Greg, rushing in, sweating, pale. "Dr. Reed, another one." It happened again. Caleb followed Greg down the cold, fluorescent-lit hallway of his underground lab. In one of the operating rooms, a corpse lay strapped to the chair. It was Madeline Kent, a wealthy socialite who had just purchased a new face. Her skin had been peeled away, revealing raw muscle and bone. Her mouth was frozen open in a silent scream of terror. But the worst part, her original face, the one Caleb had removed, was stitched back onto her skull, upside down. Caleb's breath hitched. The dead weren't just dying. Someone, or something, was reclaiming their stolen skin. Naomi had never believed in curses, but now she was living one. She felt every face that had been stolen, every cut, every stitch, every scream. When Dr. Reed's men had taken her, she thought she would die, but something inside her had refused to let go. Now she was connected to them, the stolen ones. Their pain called to her. She followed the trail of suffering straight to Madeline Kent's mansion. When Naomi arrived, Madeline was